Welcome back to the Success Catalyst. This is your host, Nina, and today I am very happy to introduce Laura McGahey, a passionate personal development coach and PGI consultant who embodies the motto, living a lifestyle of love. Originally from Canada and now living in Switzerland, Laura has dedicated her life to helping others achieve their full potential through a holistic approach to personal growth. Laura's diverse background includes roles as an educator, consultant, and speaker. She is currently a teacher at the prestigious École Internationale de Genève, International School of Geneva, where she inspires young minds. Laura's unique blend of expertise in personal development, education, and ecopsychology positions her as a powerful advocate for holistic well-being and sustainable living. I'm very excited to discover her insights on personal growth today, on education, and how to live a lifestyle of love. So, welcome to the show, Laura.
Wow, thank you for having me here, Nina. I'm taken aback a little bit because when you read all that, it's quite wow. So thank you for highlighting those special moments in my life. And yes, it's true.
We tend to take ourselves for granted sometimes, so it's nice to get a little reminder of how awesome we are.
Yes, exactly. And I think that self-image will come into play a little bit later on in some of the discussion,
Absolutely.
Nina. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So, to start with, can you share a defining moment in your career that significantly influenced your journey towards success?
Yes, absolutely. There is a big defining moment. And it was in my role as an educator. Now we'll move along in a little bit, but to where I am now. But about 13 years ago, I had this really big, powerful shift where I realized I really wasn't happy
Mhm.
in my situation back when I lived near Toronto, Canada. As a school teacher. And it wasn't that necessarily, I think it was just my soul wanting to expand and grow because I'm a teacher here still and I love it. So it was just something about changing my environment. My soul was really, really calling me, and it was persistent. So I was getting all kinds of minor body signals, sort of symptoms that required ongoing attention.
Mhm.
Like headaches were getting worse to be migraines. I was getting hives and itchy, and I just was getting all these little symptoms, and I thought I should not be feeling this ill. I'm in my 20s. This is like a highlight of my life, in my situation there, and I should be thriving. So why am I not thriving? And so when I began to dug a little deeper, this is when this shift began to happen, was to say, okay, this isn't right. The body signals that I'm receiving, something's not right within me. Um, and I began to attune to what I did want. So if I was so miserable with what I had, and I was lucky for what I had, but it just wasn't right for me at that time. And I had to then figure out what I did want. And so that's when this big shift happened where I moved from it seems simple, and it actually was. And this was this great manifestation where everything just lined up for me to come teach here at the International School of Geneva, Switzerland. And it really was click, click, click. Everything just aligned. So that was a really powerful moment because it showed me that when we actually do tune into ourselves,
Mhm.
understand what your body's telling you. There is a great book by Dr. Gabor Mate, When the Body Says No.
Oh.
And it helped me understand that my body was speaking to me,
Mhm.
and that I could make changes and sort of step outside the box and live this wild and beautiful life. So that's where I am now. Was a really big pivotal moment, which directed me here. And then all along, I've carried that with me because it was such a powerful moment, and I felt so empowered that this is now what I do for others. So, alongside teaching, I also empower others to recognize this spark within them and pivot and change and create their lives for the better.
Well, that's so amazing, and I can relate to that very much because I've had the same experience. My body was talking to me all the time, and sometimes I wouldn't even notice what was going on or just treat the symptoms as most people would do and most doctors would do, just suppress the symptoms. But as long as you don't look for the root cause, as long as you're not expressing what's inside, it's going to get expressed in some other way. So you better choose, like, express your full potential in art, in teaching, in whatever you do as some kind of service that you're rendering to the world, or it's going to get expressed into a disease or into um, any other physical difficulty that we can face. So thanks for sharing this, Laura.
Absolutely.
Um,
Mhm.
and I know you're specializing in sustainable success. I love that. So what are top three strategies that you believe are crucial for sustaining long-term success?
Yes. So when I speak about sustainable, I think it has to be something that's good for today and good for all the tomorrows. So
Mhm.
it's something that you can carry forward. We hear a lot about sustainability insofar as the environment, but I love to think of it also for our own personal actions and how we be. So for the business now that I've created, I'm definitely working on self-image all the time. So that's where this image of myself, and I think this is a good thing to keep in the forefront for other entrepreneurs, is to really maintain a self-image that is confident and clear and really kind with oneself, because you have to be courageous, and you have to be really powerful in stepping out beyond the lines of sort of normal cultural society, so normal cultural norms.
Yeah.
So if you have your own self-confidence, a good healthy self-image, that means you're capable, then you will be able to sustain that business going
Mhm.
forwards. You know, when you're out on your own, you're never alone, but when you are journeying out, you will have yourself to rely on.
That's
The
very,
third, yeah,
yeah.
the second is attuning to your personal voice. So I think this is really important to do on a consistent basis, is to set aside quiet time, whether that's within your own home, meditative space, whether it's through music, or my favorite is out in nature. So getting out for walks, and it can be just that simple. I'm a mom who is single and no family around, so I totally understand people who, you know, don't have a lot of time and space to be by themselves, but try and include it however you can. Moments of quiet, disconnecting from the noise of the world out there, so that you can attune to the voice that's within you, because having that as a regular practice will help keep you connected to that source and to the voice that wants to be expressed through you. So, positive self image, attuning to your inner voice with daily, consistent, quiet time. And third is consistency, showing up for yourself. So I love little to-do lists. I'm always like checking things off, even on my phone. You know, I use the notes and I do the strike through. I love that. So when you're consistent, you know your tasks of the day, because we're all busy. Things are always coming up for us. But I think when we can be organized and consistent, and we show that, sort of builds our confidence over time. When you manage those little daily tasks, check, 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 that you're able to maintain that strong image, that clarity, and that showing up for yourself, and then thus showing up for the people you're serving.
Wow, these are so valuable insights, and we absolutely need to keep those in mind. So, first of all, know your self-image and know that you have the power to change it and to redesign it as much as you want. Like, you could really decide on what kind of person you want to be and then go and be that person. Second, as you said, tune into your own voice. We are so distracted by all the noise around us, and sometimes you can't even stand sitting in silence with our thoughts. They're just not so heavy, and we cannot stand like sitting in silence for at least a few minutes every day. And it doesn't have to be for a long time. We don't have to transcend into another dimension through this very spiritual experience, or whatever that meditation may seem like to people who never tried it. You could just sit in silence, avoid any distractions, and just listen to your own thoughts without judgment, and just be there.
For sure. I
And
like to see like little bite size, like
yeah,
just because especially, when you're starting out, if it's a new practice for you, just something that's manageable, because that's what's sustainable. A 40-hour meditation for me every day is not sustainable. So it's got
Absolutely.
to be small little bits that you can manage to include in your day and making it a priority.
That's very important. And third, consistency, and it's all about discipline as well. And the little reward that you get once you check that box, that's a rush of dopamine that we need to actually like go on through the day and have some more energy and feel the win, celebrate the small wins, I would say as well, because it's not obvious to remember at the end of the day how many things we've achieved. So tick that box, like celebrate it, and then at the end maybe reward yourself as well, like with words of affirmation, with a little gift, a little treat. Why not? But stay consistent and always plan your day ahead. Like
Yeah,
don't go very spontaneously, just like looking,
yeah,
okay, following the flow and looking for what's next. You have the power to define what your day is going to look like, and you have the power to prioritize your tasks for the day. So thanks for all these
absolutely.
insights, Laura.
Absolutely.
And now my question is, how do you stay motivated and inspired, especially during challenging times?
This is a great question, and it really comes back to how I stay motivated is my reverence for life. So, little side story: when I was younger, about 8 years old or so, my dad's brother died, and so my uncle, early with cancer, and I never really knew him, but that's kind of exactly the point. So, when I was the same age he was when he passed away, so life goes on, and when I was 34, I had my son, and he at his age had a young daughter, and really unfortunately, and he died. And so this, if I didn't already have reverence for life, I had already started on my personal journey, but I recognized that, wow, every day past this, my uncle never had.
Yeah.
And so it just kicked another level of like ammo in me, and I was just really motivated to seize the moment and seize the opportunities and live life to the fullest, because so many people don't get to live, as long as I have. So this reverence for life and this respect for the life I do have keeps me really motivated and encouraged to keep going. And I think additionally, as a female Canadian woman, I realize my privilege, and I
Mhm.
feel a duty to serve, and I feel a duty to use my voice, because again, still unfortunately there's, so many people women who don't have the freedom of speech, really, and being. So, and I want to help. I want to raise the consciousness about that. So I think that's the reverence for life, the respect for the life I have is what keeps me going. And whenever I doubt, that I shouldn't, I never doubt. I'm always forward motion. So it doesn't really come in too much. But through all the challenges, I'm grateful that I have the resources I have. And I guess that's another one, gratitude. But I'm rooted in gratitude and reverence for life, really.
I love that attitude because, yeah, we should never take life for granted because you never know when it's gonna stop and how it's gonna stop. You never know how much time you still have on this earth. You still have something within you that's worth expressing, as we were talking about earlier. So go for it, express it, live life as much as you can, and have fun.
For sure.
Uh,
Just a little side note I forgot to mention, I have it in my notes here. I've also read, I don't know if you've heard of it, Bronnie Ware. She's Australian. Bronnie Ware's book, it's called The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. And so this lady accompanied people that were transitioning. And the number one wish that she heard come through was, I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself and not through the expectations of others.
oh, wow.
Number one wish, I wish I had the courage to be true to myself. So, when we hear what we do, is sometimes that extreme brings us back and grounds us. And it's like, okay, if I want to live without regrets, I want to do my very best, then, you have to take the leap.
I'm now 35 and I already have this regret for not having lived my life as I wished to during my 20s, especially. I tried to like be a people pleaser and be in this box or in this shape that everyone would accept and recognize as, okay, this is the norm, you're doing fine, we're happy with you. I tried to be that person, and eventually my body was going nuts. So I started developing symptoms as well because I didn't express my true self. And then I said, okay, I really owe it to myself to be truthful and to really express what's within me because it's worth expressing. And guess what? I'm only going to be around here once, as far as I know. So I better do my best and express myself and be honest with myself because I mean, we have our own company for all our life. People come and go, society changes, the norms change, but we are always with ourselves. We have to really make good company with ourselves
Yeah,
and
you need to be your
be,
own best friend.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, many people are sometimes motivated by a course or a motivational speaker or a seminar that they attend, and then eventually they try to make it on their own and try to change things and get stuck eventually. And this is where it's important to have a mentor. So, what do you think is the role of a mentor or a mentorship in general in both professional or personal life? And can you share any memorable mentorship experience that you've had?
Yeah, well, Nina, immediately when you talk about mentorship, I think of our dear leader, Bob Proctor. So Nina and I are part of the same institute, the Proctor Gallagher Institute. And Bob Proctor, I remember him saying, now don't quote this exactly, but something to the fact that a good leader is always learning, and it's important to look to people who have the results that you want. And so to surround yourself with people who are really uplifted, motivated, and seeking to make a positive impact in the world. And so I think that's what a good mentor can do. A good mentor can, help listen to you and uh, help you to hear yourself, to see the good in yourself, and to draw those gems out and empower you to really live your life to the fullest and give you the tools to do so. And we're so lucky within the Proctor Gallagher Institute that there's just so many opportunities to be mentored and to have access to, such incredible personal and professional development. And so yeah, I really look to him. And whenever I think of mentorship and I think of Bob Proctor, I think also he said, you have to be really open and accept learning.
Mm.
So a good leader is always open, is always vulnerable, and is learning, and is never too proud to say, I've had enough. There's no cap on our learning. Always a student, always a learner. So I think to be humble as a mentor and also say, hey, I'm on this journey too. I'm learning with you, and I accompany you through using this program and these tools to help you affect the life change that you want. So yeah, I think those are good qualities: is an openness and always learning, and yeah, a respect for the other person's journey.
I remember what Paul Proctor used to say as well is that a good leader is also an intelligent follower. We have
That's exact. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
we we have to stay open-minded and stay humble because, okay, now I'm a mentor. That does not mean that I know everything about everything. That does not make any sense. I would need another mentor for something else. If I'm a business coach, maybe I'll need a mindset coach. If I'm a mindset coach, maybe you need a marketing expert. You never know what you're missing, and there are
yeah.
so many valuable so much valuable expertise out there, so many amazing experts in so many areas of life that we need to collaborate, we need to take advantage of this knowledge and this expertise that's so easy to share now with social media and online businesses and online courses that we can learn so much. So stay open-minded and be humble enough to admit that we would never know everything. That's
Exactly. Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So there are other misconceptions, I would say, about the industry of coaching and mentorship. So, is there any common misconceptions that you came across that you'd like to debunk?
Well, I hear quite often, I don't have the money for it.
Yes, that's a biggie.
So the exchange seems to come into play, and um, I understand. Again, I'm a mom who is single, so certainly I'm, always I don't say thinking about money, but I'm always, you know where you're going and where what you have and et cetera, what your expenses are. But something I believe is that insofar as personal development and mentorship, always learning to live your life the most authentically as possible, to live your best life. There is no price to that.
Mm,
And so I think, oftentimes we will so quickly spend X amount of money on a vacation, or we'll spend X amount of money on a fancy car, or this beautiful wardrobe and
mm,
dinners out, et cetera, et cetera. We can spend money so easily on other things, but when it comes to actually improving the quality of our lives from the inside and opening up and accepting help that way, it seems to be a big issue. And so I encourage everybody to not be, among those who regret not having had the courage to try something new, to seek mentorship, to seek learning in new ways about themselves, to really go for it, because this life is precious,
mm.
and they're worth it. Maybe it comes down to the self-image. What do you think?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And that reminded me of what I heard someone say, when we are interested, we do what's convenient, but when we are committed, we'll do whatever it takes. If you want it bad enough, you will find the money, because you found the money to buy all kinds of stuff around your house that are not crucial to your survival. Let's be honest. Like, I don't need those flowers. I don't need those cushions, whatever. Like, they're just nice. I wanted them, so I spent my money on them.
Right.
And something else that's very important to shift perspective around is that we should never consider getting expert help, like mentorship, like coaching, or like any personal development course that we are offered, as an expense, as spending money. You are investing that money, because the return over your investment is going to be huge if you take the advice, if you follow the steps that your mentor or your coach is going to suggest. Your life will never be the same. You'll get that money like 100 times more than what you invested, at least if it's really relevant what you're doing. So you have to really decide if you want it, and you have to understand the value. Usually when people are talking about prices, they don't get the value. But when they get the value, really it does not matter if you have the money or not, because you will go and get it. There are many ways to have money these days, and it's like more, it's easier than ever to get money and to get rich and to find ways to have income. But what's crucial is to always see what's beyond the investment. What do you want to achieve with that?
I love that. And when you were speaking, and it made me think too of reframing it,
Yes.
and sort of like a help for our soul and mind, where we would spend money on a fitness trainer, we would spend money on an osteopath, we spend money for dietitian, nutritionist, we spend our money in so many other ways to take care of our health. That this is also mental health, and the direction, using our lives intentionally and purposely and meaningfully in
Mm.
a really loving way. That's also part of our health,
Yeah.
So if we can reframe, sometimes reframing things helps us make more sense of things. So
Just because
yeah,
it's not visible does not mean it's not there, right?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So true.
now, can you share with us any advice that you give to aspiring entrepreneurs or leaders who are listening to us, or who are just starting out and need some guidance?
Yes, I would say I think we all have this little sparkiness of something more. And even now, so even you and I, we've made these leaps and we're doing this something new. Well, there's still a spark. There's still a spark to nourish. And so I would encourage anybody who is on the cusp of taking a leap into their something new, into their manifestation and accepting it, is to really believe that that spark is within you for
Mhm.
a reason. It's yours to give. It's your gift to give to the world. It's your service. And not only is it going to help many around you, but it really nourishes you from within. And I think that's the ultimate self-love and the ultimate self-respect, is when we can actually look within and listen to ourselves and act on those inner desires. So yeah, I would encourage people to really tune into that spark and nourish it and believe that it is important, it is significant, and we need you. So please share your spark and keep that fire lit really big.
I love that. I love that. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Laura. And now
Yeah.
in closing, how can we stay in touch with you? How can people contact you? Are you on social media? Tell us more.
Yes. So I have my website, which is, I guess, the hub for sort of redirecting, if you will. It's lauramcgahey.com. And then I have my social media. My Instagram handle is at Mindful Living with Laura. And that's where I share more sort of up to date, more current things. I have a LinkedIn account also for Laura McGahey, but I guess my main two would be my website and Instagram. If I can just share one last thing, though, Nina, is about that is this quote that, when again, you came back to, had a question earlier about motivation, but there's this quote from Dennis Waitley, and he says, "Life is inherently risky. There is only one big risk that you should avoid at all costs, and that is the risk of doing nothing."
Oh,
So
wow.
again, it comes back to that regret at the end of our lives. The risk of doing nothing and not taking action on that spark and keeping your fire lit is far greater than if you did try. I think so we can find inspiration in quotes and people who have walked the path before us.
I love it. Thank you so much, Laura, for sharing this. And I'll make sure to include all your social links in the description of the episode. In the meantime, thank you again for joining me today. This was the Success Catalyst. My name is Dina Robert, and I will see you next time.